Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to be discussing that your disability is actually based upon your perspective. As always with all these videos, make sure to like and save for later, and in the comments please do let me know where you are dialing in from or where you are from and what disability you have. It just makes it easier for myself to help you and to answer your questions as best as I can and to provide you with my advice or the advice I think is most applicable for you in today's video. So in today's video we are going to discuss why your environment, your immediate environment, is the most important for you in terms of your disability, and that it actually depends on your perspective. We are then going to go into you yourself as an individual, why your own perspective is the most important for you and how you can frame that for your disability. And lastly, what can you actually do for yourself in the present that will impact you in the future? And also, what can you do in the future? And that doesn't have to be years or eons away. That can simply be weeks or months away for you to progress and to change your perspective on your disability and to live a life for yourself that is the most fulfilling for you. So let's get into it with no further ado. So the first thing is your environment and your immediate environment and your perspective on your disability. I know we don't think of it as disabled people, but I myself am fully aware of this, that your immediate environment, be that your family, so your mother or your father or your brothers or sisters, or your nieces or nephews, or your aunts or uncles, or potentially your friend group and your peers and your mentors as well. All of that environment, or that encompassing environment itself, is extremely important on your perspective and how you view your disability, because we often, although we don't think about it, we learn and adapt to the rules and the behaviors of other people more than we actually take or give account to. So if your current environment is one of negativity, where other people are blaming themselves for their past mistakes or failures, then that is going to rub onto you, and you're going to see your disability as a hindrance and a liability for something for which you cannot change in most circumstances. And because of that, you will become frustrated and you will become bitter, and you won't become emboldened to actually change your disability or to work around it due to the ramifications it may have on you as an individual. And further to that stance of your environment and how it affects your perspective, not only it's the negativity and the bitterness of other people, but if other people are constantly blaming those things out of their control for their lot in life or for where they are in their situation in their lives, then that itself is going to rub onto you. You may be thinking now, as you watch this video, my life has not panned out as I wanted it to because of either the government or natural disasters or the country I was born in. And that can have an impact on your disability. I don't disagree with that. I was originally born in South Africa, and the disability care in South Africa in comparison to the UK, it's worlds apart. The UK is far better and far more advanced, so that can have an impact on your upbringing. However, that can be changed. You're not confined to a country, to one country. You have the freedom of movement to move about as such. So that itself is important to realize, that it's not only your immediate environment or your friends and your family, but it can also be your wider environment. But coming back to your friends and your family and how they rub off on your perspective, to wrap this all up, if you are trying to change yourself for the better within the confines you have of your disability, and you're constantly incurring a sense of negativity, or to hit yourself against a brick wall, for a better word, then it's time to change up your immediate environment. It doesn't mean you need to be ruthless and cut everybody off. It just means, where is your time going, and how is that being shaped by your perspective of your disability, and also by your perspective of those closest to you for which you take the majority of your advice. And second to that, the second part of this is your perspective and yourself. So I don't know your upbringing, and I don't know your background or your backstory, whoever is watching this as the individual. However, I can only speak from my own experience as a disabled person, that my own background and my upbringing, it did influence my outcome and my outlook on my disability, and potentially to a negative downside of that. And because my parents immediately, they thought there's no kind of hope for me, and for me to just do basic things would be the most outstanding achievements there are. And that is absolutely fine for them to think that, because when I was born, I weighed in at 500 grams and I was the size of a pen itself. So if you're looking at that and you're thinking they're going to achieve extraordinary things, then I wouldn't blame them. I would have thought the same as that. However, your own perspective, it depends on what you're actually doing. Do you have a disability at this moment in time that you cannot change? Have you accepted that? But more importantly, have you tried to work around it? Do you have the equipment or the support in place that you may need? And it may not need to be a sense of life-changing equipment. All it may need to be is some crutches or better shoes or some prosthetics or splints itself. So do you have that to brighten your outlook? Or are you not doing things you're supposed to in terms of a disabled person that is affecting your perspective? So you might be stiff, or you might be sore, or you might be fat, or you might not have the strength you so wish you had desired when you were growing up. All those things are within your remit to change as a disabled person, and that it plays into your perspective. If you are not where you want to be, either physically or mentally or emotionally, or a combination of those things, that will play into your perspective of, oh, I'm useless and I'm disabled and I'm not going to achieve anything, or it's the fault of other people, or you will look and trade off excuses or blame other people for your circumstances. Whereas on the other side of that, if you actually try things, even if you quote unquote fail, that is fine to try things and to fail. But failure is only if you give up. It's not if you try something and you're amateur the first time or the 10th time or the 20th time. You keep on going and you keep on improving as a result of trial and error and trial and failure. And I can promise you this now, able-bodied or disabled people who have gone on to do great things, they didn't just magically step up the first time and become a professional. It took hours and hours of practice and dedication as well. So if your perspective is one of negativity at this moment in time due to yourself, then that it needs to change. Go out and do things if you're able to. And if you're not able to, then try seek the help or the assistance of a community around you. Or what can you do for yourself? Are you able to type, to send an email, or to go and speak to people on the phone or through social media? Or are you actually using all the avenues that you can as a disabled person, depending on where you're watching this video from in the world? If those services are accessible to you, are you using them, or are you fearful because of the rebuttal or the comments from other people for which you may seek a sense of validation from? And lastly, it brings us on to the last point or chapter of this video on your disability. It actually just depends on your perspective, and that is your present, which leaks into your future. Or more importantly, the things you do in the present, they influence where you will be in the future itself. So those things are simple. So the relationship with your immediate family, with your friends, and with your wider group, how is that impacting on you day to day? When you speak to those people, do you feel drained? Do you feel a sense of energy? Do you feel a sense of achievement or a sense of motivation? Or is it completely draining and it leads to a sense of frustration? That needs to change, and you need to be very particular and very conscious of who you are hanging around with and who you are spending your time with as a disabled person. Particularly, I will stress, if you are in your late teens, if you are in your 20s or your early 30s, because those memories or the foundational, the habits you will be picking up on will lay a cornerstone and a foundation of how you grow up, potentially into your old age as well. So that is something to bear in mind. So your friends, your family, and your immediate environment will massively change your perspective. An example, if you're around people who are moaning all day, you are going to pick up the fixture of moaning and blaming others. But then you're going to sit where you are in years to come, and then it will just feel a sense of guilt and frustration from yourself, and that cycle, it will repeat. To come into yourself in your present, do you have an upbeat sense of perspective on your disability, or do you have a sense of negativity around it, that hey, it's the end of the world, I can't do anything, I better sit in my room and that is it? Or are you thinking, okay, it's very difficult at this moment in time, but I'm not the only disabled person in my county or my province or my state or my country. Let me reach out to other people. And although they may not have the exact same disability as you or the exact same upbringing as you had, they can share their thoughts and experiences that can potentially influence you in a positive way and therefore change your perspective. But I think it's also important to have short-term future goals to flip your perspective and those goals to drive you forward, and also for you to hang around your own people and your own community that can influence your perspective to the best of your abilities. And if there's not a community near you, maybe because of what you are trying to achieve or how you are trying to change yourself, a sense or a month or a few months or potentially a year of solitude and just working on yourself may actually be the best kind of motivation that you need to change your own perspective. So that it is your friends and family, yourself, and then your present and your future. Everything you are doing in the present will impact your future. So that can be as simple as, do you clean yourself every day? Do you stretch every day? Do you hang around with people who feed your knowledge and make you excited each and every day, or potentially every week as well? Do you enrich yourself? Are you growing as a person? And what I would love you to do is in the comments as well, please do drop what you are trying to do in the present for the better to change yourself so that you will have a better future. For myself, I'm trying to put myself out there as a disabled person and squash the myths of, oh, a disability is just all negativity and that is it. I don't know where that will lead to in the future, if I'm being honest, but I hope in the present for what I'm doing, it will lay the foundational groundwork for that. But as always, guys, please do let me know your thoughts in the comments. More importantly, do let me know feedback on this video itself. Is this type of format is something you want to see, the shorter format or the longer format? Any types of ideas you want me to cover in future videos as well, or anything you think I may have missed that would be quite useful in a follow-up, a video or part of a video series. And also, do you want me to be recording in an environment such as my room, or potentially in my living room, or walking and talking? Please do let me know all these things, because I'm here to help and assist you. And from that, I also grow and I also learn as a creator, especially in these early days as well. But as always, guys, thank you for your time. Stay well, stay safe, and please keep on venturing forward as a disabled person, because the only barrier there is you and your mind and your mindset. But have a great day further, guys. Cheers, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.